Hi guys, in this section we're going to look a little bit at digital literacy. We're breaking it into some activities and some information for you. The first thing we want to look at with literacy is copyright. So what is copyright? Essentially, the easiest way to understand copyright is for the assumption that everything has copyright. Because in theory, it does. If you produce something, then that is an original piece, that's copyrighted to you. Some people choose to waiver that copyright and to say, no, I want everybody to access it. So even though it's copyrighted, I'm going to waiver that right that I have. And often these come under the terms of Creative Commons. So basically, you have assume copyright. Everything is copyrighted and make that assumption. And then some things people have said, actually, no, I don't want to be the only person who can use this. Anybody can use this. So now you understand a little bit about copyright. It's also important to remember that you need to cite a piece or reference a piece. So whether it's some lines of text that you've taken, whether it's an image, a video or some music, it's important you say who the author is. It's important you give a date and where you got that information from. Whenever you are taking text, you never ever can copy a whole page of text. You'll be taking quotes or information from that text. When it comes to music, the general rule is approximately 10% if it's under fair use. And fair use for us is because you're using it at school for non-profit making reasons, then that's seen as a fair use. 10% is a big approximation. It changes from country to country. So really you need to be careful of how you use music and never more than 10%. Unless you get permission. So for example, in this instance, Matthias wanted to use more than the 10% of the music. So he contacted the organisation, explained what it was he wanted to do with it, because he wanted it for a school project. They emailed him back and said, absolutely fine, it's for a school project, then you can use it, free use of the whole piece of the music. So if you get permission, that's totally different. Some places don't want you to use their information at all. If you look at the NBA and you go right down to the bottom of this site, you'll read here that it says, no portion of the NBA may be duplicated, redistributed or manipulated in any form. So basically on this site, you can look at the information, you can use it to help you, but you cannot copy and paste quotes from it, even if you do reference it, because it said it does not want it to be duplicated or used. So be careful. Make sure you've checked the website, it's happy for you to use it. Make sure that if it's an image, it's a royalty-free image. If it's music, that you're only using a certain percentage of it. And in all cases, you need to make sure that you're doing a reference or a citation. What we'd like to do is we want to break it up a little bit, or it's just me talking, and that's not exciting for anybody. So I would like you to we're going to play a little game. I'd like you to go into Wikipedia and like you to type in copyright, so you come to the copyright page. You then have to get to a page about kangaroos. So you're on copyright, you have to move to a page on kangaroos. However, you cannot search for anything in the search toolbar, and you have to do everything by using the links within here. Okay, you can use any of the links within here, and you need to count how many different links you need to go on to be able to get from copyright to kangaroos. Okay, and what's really important with this is that you need to be reading, you need to be seeing what the links say, you need to be thinking about where they might take you. So we're going from copyright to kangaroos, and we need to find out who's going to do it in the least amount of clicks, so the least amount of page changes. Okay, now we're going to look at searching. I have seen some people who would write the whole sentence into a search. So, for example, we don't need that whole sentence, okay? All they're looking for is the keywords that you think are important. So, I really just want to know the train from London to Newcastle. Okay, a lot faster, you get a lot more accurate results. Also, you can use other symbols. So for example, You could say not if there was something in particular you did not want it to have in it. You could do or, so you could be looking for London or Newcastle. So not or are keywords that you could use to actually change your search. If you put inverted commas around it, like this, that means that that whole sentence must appear together in the website. If you don't, it's looking for anything with the word train, London, Newcastle. If you put the inverted commas around it, then train, London, Newcastle must appear together. You can go down here for search tools. So you can decide the time that it was done, and you can customize that range of when exactly you're looking for. You've got location, country, so you can specify a country you particularly want to be in. If we go to images, so I've searched for pigs here under images, if I just get rid of my more tools. So when I did my search here, for most of you that would just be that would be your general search. If you go back into more tools, I can select the size, so a large, a good quality image. I can select colour if that's relevant. The type of image, I want face, a photo, clip art. Time, if that's relevant, if it's an image you want to have that's been very recent or in a specific time frame. And usage here, labelled for reuse, which means that if I use this, I know that that person is given permission for this to be used. I've shown you how to use Google and to select images that were labelled for reuse. You can also search for copyright free or Creative Commons images. So, for example, on Creative Commons images, Creative Commons, it has a selection of databases. So you can go through those and you can get media, video, images, music that's actually been labelled for reuse. The other thing that I will share with you is this list. So on this listy, I've got how to use software, but if you keep going down, some royalty-free images, some stock images, the search, the free music, which is Purple Planet, which is quite good, another royalty-free music ones. So some information on there. So there's 3 really good sites. But how are you searching? So most of you are using Google, and that's absolutely fine if that's what you feel is best for you. But here, there's others that is probably worth experimenting with. You have DuckDuckGo. Okay. You have Google Scholar, which is looking for more academic type materials. Here we've got Ask, one that what some of you might already use. Bing, Mahola. Dogpile. Dogpile is actually quite a nice one because it doesn't have so much advertising and it has a lot of the tracking that Google has stripped out of it. Yippee Search. I mean, I haven't used all of these. I'm not saying you need to, but it's worth knowing that there's other websites, other search engines available. Wikipedia, Yahoo. So these are some that were recommended on this site here. Another way to search is to use the school library. The great thing about this is the books here have a good academic premise. So you can go onto the quick links on the school site and then you would go down to the library, or you can go onto Schoology and one of your groups will be the library. If you go into resources, you'll find that it's got both Destiny and JSTOR. I'm not going to be looking at JSTOR, although JSTOR is excellent for research, but that's something that you will do with the library. I'm just going to talk about the Destiny and the library cataloguing. So basically when you click on either of those, you come here, come to the high school, and then you can do your general search here. You can do keywords, you can search for a specific title, you can look at the type of material you want to know. So for example, I'm going to do a specific one, have a look at what they've got on Malcolm X. So if I do that search there, I can see that this information there is about Malcolm X, and I can go and have a look at it. When you've found a source, the other thing you need to think about is it reliable? What you need to consider is, most importantly, who wrote it and some kind of currency. When was it written? What date was it written? Those two bits of information should be on every website, and you should be able to find them. So, is it up to date? When was it written? Who wrote it? You can also start thinking about relevance. Is it accurate? Is its purpose? So what I would like you to do is I'm going to give you a website. I would like you to find out its currency. Is it up to date? I'd like you to find out who wrote it, something about the author. And I'd like to find out about the accuracy. Do you think it's accurate? Do you think that the website is a good website to use? And we're going to be looking at history. It's Victorian history. Okay? If you wish to, you can use this site here. And if you click on it, if you put in this web address rather, you put in the web address that you're looking for, you should be able to do some research to find out who owns it. So this is the website we're going to look at. And remember, we're looking at, is it up to date? What's the currency of it? We're looking at authority. Who is the author? Who wrote it? Can you find anything else about them? And accuracy. Do you think it's accuracy? And we're looking at Victorian history. So I'd like you to have a look at what they are saying here. This is the web address that you can just type in. I will also provide a link. Do you think it is accurate? So far, we've looked at three main things. First, we looked at copyright and the importance to make sure that you cite the information you get. Remember to talk to the library. They'll be able to tell you how to cite for AP, NYP, IB. They also will have that information on the Schoology library page. Then we had a look at how to search. So we looked at different search engines, different ways to search. You also had a look at the library resources and how you can research and search using the library resources. Finally, we looked at accuracy and validity. Is it up to date? Is it accurate? Who wrote it? Don't just believe it, but had a little research behind the scenes about what it is this information is telling you. It is important to remember that you have got your own personal learning network. That's like a buzzword in technology at the moment. And it's the way you find out your information. So I might not have mentioned something that you use. That's absolutely fine. These are just some ideas that I've come up with. But whatever system you use, you need to pull that information together, especially if you're doing a lot of project work and especially as that work gets more and more advanced. So for example, some of you might just use folders. So here's my school folder of information. And you might just put your bookmarks there. But it might be that you want to add notes, you want to add images, you want to add other information to that. So the one that the school would recommend is something called Noodle Tools. Now Noodle Tools you get on through the school website, through the library. And it's really good at collating that information together and allowing you to do citations from that information. But that would be a whole session, and some of you will be doing a session on Noodle Tools. I'm going to show you some basic online systems that you might want to use just for getting information together, for gathering it in one place. Not instead of, but basically I want to give you as many options as possible, and you choose what suits you. One thing might suit somebody, one thing might suit somebody else. These are the ones that I have found. This Diigo, Listy, Evernote and Pocket. Listy, to be fair, is basically an online version of having a bookmark system. So if you don't want it that way but like it just a simple list, it's quite a nice way to do it. You can get what's called a Chrome extension. I'll show you those, but here's my Listy Chrome extension. So when I'm on a web page that I'm interested in, I just hit on this L, I select the folder I want to go to, and boom, it will go to that folder. But I'm going to show you that with another one. There's also Evernote, there's Pocket, there's many to choose from. I'm just showing you these 4. You could use any of them. I'm only going to go into detail about Evernote, not because I think it's the best, I don't, but each of these use the same system. So this just happens to be one that I've got open and I can show for you. So if you look on my apps, so I've got Evernote, but on my apps as well, if we look along here, you will see that I've also got Pocket, and here I have Diigo. So I'm just going to have a look at Evernote. So if you go into Evernote, it's quite a simple system to use. You've just got to get your head around it. You can click here for notebooks. Now, each of your notebooks, and it says notebooks at the top when you're on it. So I've got one called PSHE. So if I want to create another one, these are like basically folders. So I'm going to call this one Digital Literacy. Hope it's spelled right. Once you've created your notebook, you can add a note. So say there was something that I found that I want to add some information on. So I'm going to just put so I can add some information, I could add a link, I could attach a file, I could add a link. So basically I could put loads of research that I found that was really useful and interesting here. Once I've finished with it, I can click on done. So now inside here I've got this. So if I show you my other notebooks, I've got PSHE here, and PSHE here has just got this one note in it at the moment. Now say I was online and I found this that I thought was really easy, really useful. I have installed two things. One thing is Evernote Web. The other one is this little Evernote extension. So it'll say, okay, where would you like to add this to? And I'm going to say I want to add it to PSHE, and I want to add the whole article. Okay, so if I save that like that, so now if I go into PSHE, see you've got two notes. So it's got the things I wrote there, and then it's got this website that I've added here. So you might be doing a topic and you might want to write some notes of things you found. You might want to put a picture in, an image in that you found useful. You might want to put a website you found in useful. And what it does is it allows you to put this together. And the other beautiful thing about this is that when you have your notes, so when you're on notebooks, I can then share this notebook with somebody else. So if two of you are working on it together, you can then share it so you both can have access to it as long as you're both using Evernote. So now it's over to you. You're going to have your own computer. You can adapt it to work in the way that suits you best. You can create things and share them, not just locally, but globally. You can also have discussions with people about topics outside of your classroom. You have at your fingertips the ability to do research into any topic that you choose. So please, the only limitations is you and how you choose to use it. If there's something that you don't understand or something you want more clarification on, please come and see me. That's part of my role, is to help you, to support you. Also, there will be the technology support pupils who'll be working in the canteen. Please talk to them, discuss problems with them. We're here to help you use your computers to the best of their ability. So the limitations really is your own imagination.